Hey sis, today I am sharing 6 challenges that I face homeschooling for children that no one told me about. You know, homeschooling is a blessing and it is full of many rewards, but it also comes with a lot of struggles and challenges, and I'll be sharing some of those challenges. So if you're wondering whether you're the only one going through those challenges while homeschooling your kids, I want to let you know that you are not. So stay tuned and watch this video to the end. So these are the 6 real challenges that I face as a homeschooling mom that I'm going to talk about in this video, and also share how I overcome these challenges. So the first one is mom time versus teacher time. Second one is expensive curriculums. Third one is not knowing how to teach certain subjects. Fourth one is distractions during school hours. The 5th one is teaching multiple grades at a time. And then the 6th one is having that feeling of you not doing enough. You know, that feeling of I am not doing enough as a homeschooling mom. So stay tuned to see how I overcome some of these challenges. So hey sis, welcome to my YouTube channel. Sis, if you're wondering what's going on with my finger, I'm wearing this because a door smashed my finger this past weekend, and I have a huge slice across my finger, and the other side is really damaged or hurt, like it's purple on the other side. So I pray that I have quick recovery in Jesus' name. Amen. So the number one challenge, which is mom time versus teacher time. Sometimes children do not understand the shift. You know, 1 minute I'm in the kitchen washing dishes, making breakfast, cleaning, and then a few minutes later I'm the teacher trying to get them to do their language art and their math and whatever else they have to do for that day. And my kids, sometimes there are times they will look at me like, mommy, this work is too much, mommy, I don't want to do anymore, mommy, you know, I don't understand this. So many different excuses. And then there are times they will begin to cry, and then they will cry to get their work done. And then I wonder, will they cry if someone else was teaching them? And I bet they wouldn't cry if somebody else was teaching them. Then the corrections. Oh my goodness, my kids love to correct me during school hours and also outside of school hours. But the one that gets to me most is when I'm trying to teach them and give them the right answer during school hours, and they try to say that I don't have the right answer, that I'm wrong. That one gets to me, okay? But I also understand that if somebody else was teaching my kids, they will also challenge that person the same way they are challenging me, because my kids can be very bold. They love to express themselves. What has helped me to overcome the challenges of mom time versus teacher time is preparing ahead of time, okay? Especially when it comes to teaching them science and history. I prepare ahead of time because it gives me confidence in knowing that I am familiar with the topic, the subject that I'm about to teach them that day, and that whatever answer that I will give them is the correct answer, that I'm not guessing, you know, the answers that I'm giving them. Also, I am learning to humble myself, knowing that even though I am their mom and their teacher, that I do not have all the answers, that I can be wrong sometimes, and it is okay for my children to correct me. Another thing that I do is to involve my husband, especially when the crying gets out of hand, when my kids are having tantrums. I involve my husband, and once I tell them that I'm about to call my husband, they straighten up because he knows how to handle their tantrums better than I could. He does a great job. He's so amazing. He's like my principal's office. Overall, I'm learning to be gentle with myself and with my kids, knowing that homeschooling doesn't have to be perfect, and kids will always be kids. So sis, the next one is expensive curriculums. Homeschooling curriculums can be expensive. There are times that I'll buy textbooks and workbooks for my kids, and the total will be $1,000 or even more, or close to it. And that's a lot of money for families where it's only one spouse that is working. And then there are curriculums that require multiple books per subject. And you know that the more books you buy for a subject, the more money you're gonna spend on that subject. So I just pray that companies will, think about the homeschooling families and reduce the cost of these curriculums. These are how I overcome the challenges of expensive curriculum. One way is I try to stick to the curriculums that are working for my family and I, so that I can reuse the teacher's edition, because buying brand new curriculums that I haven't used before means I have to buy both student workbook and the parent edition, and that's a lot of money when you're buying 2 books at a time. And so by sticking to what is already working, I only get to buy 1 book. Okay. Another thing that I do is that I save money by making photocopies of the workbook that I already have. So I do not allow my children to write inside the workbook, so that I can use that same workbook for my next child. Okay. Another way you can save money is to look for curriculums that require just 1 book per subject, where you don't have to buy multiple books per subject. That way you save money. Also, some parents buy used books, which are cheaper, but I haven't bought used books before because I am more confident buying new books. Homeschooling doesn't have to break the bank if you're intentional in budgeting and in reusing your books. And please, if you know any other way that I can save money on homeschool curriculums, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. That would be so helpful. So the third challenge is not knowing how to teach certain subjects and not being interested in teaching certain subjects. So I don't know if there's any homeschooling mom out there who is an expert in teaching all the subjects, or who is always excited to teach all the subjects. If you're that person, please let me know in the comment section below. So for me, one of the challenges that I would have had during my first year of homeschooling my daughter would have been teaching her phonics, because I didn't learn phonics growing up in Nigeria. So the way I learned phonics was through the educational videos that I was playing for my daughter. So as my daughter was learning phonics, I myself too was learning phonics. So when it was time to begin to homeschool her and teach her phonics, it became easy for me because I had learned it some years back. Okay. Also, there's parts of speech, language arts, all these grammar concepts that I do not understand, but my daughter understands it better than I do, and there are times that she teaches me those concepts. Don't get me started on US history or US government. I do not understand it a whole lot, and it intimidates me. When I first moved to the US, I remember being in class and I would sleep off. I did not understand what was being taught. I didn't understand the US history. It was just confusing and complicated. And so when I'm teaching it to my kids, I don't feel confident teaching them US history. And also I remember in Nigeria, in social studies class, I was not interested in it. I did not know what was taught. Like, it didn't stick. Okay, so I think maybe I'm just not interested in social studies and US government, all of those things. I'm more of a math and science girl. And another subject I don't like to teach is art. Art is not my favorite subject to teach at all, and I rather have my kids learn art somewhere else than have them learn it from me. These are some of the things that I do to help me overcome this challenge of not knowing how to teach certain subjects. First, I choose curriculums that make it easy for me to understand that subject, curriculums that simplify the topics and makes it easy for me to understand what to teach my kids. Also, I use YouTube videos. I allow my kids to watch YouTube videos on certain topics, and I also watch YouTube videos so that I will be able to know how to teach my kids certain topics. I take advantage of our local library, which has different activities for kids to participate in, homeschooling kids to participate in, so that my kids can be taught by other people who are experts in different fields. And last but not least, I thank God for our homeschool co-op. It has been a huge blessing to myself and my family. And the co-op provides, lessons on U.S. history and science, and my kids have been learning a lot from the co-op. It is just a blessing to our homeschool. Number 4 challenge is distractions during school hours. This can be a big issue because there is a lot of distractions in this house. For example, the house chores are always calling my name. The food I need to make, the dishes I need to wash, the laundry I need to put away. Everything is calling my name at the wrong time. And then you have sometimes doctor's appointments, which my husband goes to with the kids. And sometimes people are calling me during school hours. And sometimes, which is rare, people will visit during school hours. And that can cause us to pause in the middle of our lessons. And of course, the kids are their own biggest distractions because of the times they spend arguing, the times they spend yelling at each other, jumping up and down, running around. Those things extend our school hours. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled in every direction at the same time. The way that I overcome this challenge of distractions during school hours is to protect our school hours. First, I try to get all the chores done before starting school, and if anything else tries to get my attention, I try my best to ignore it until we're done with school. Also, I avoid picking up calls during school hours, and I let the people know that I'll call them back later. And also, I try to inform families and friends the times that we have school so that they don't visit during those times. And also, we try to keep our homeschool routine simple so that even if the day is chaotic, still be able to come back to where we had stopped. 5th challenge is teaching 4 kids in 4 different grades. It is no joke teaching multiple grades at the same time. And teaching 4 kids is a different experience compared to teaching 1 or 2 kids. They're not the same. It requires more planning, more patience, and more switching from one subject to another within a short period of time. 1 minute I'm helping my 7th grader with her writing, then my 2nd child I'm helping her with math, and 3rd child with reading, and then 4th child with tracing. It can be a lot, it can be challenging. So the way that I overcome this challenge is by teaching my kids together, teaching them the same subjects together. Okay, so that I'm not teaching all the subjects individually all the time. I also rotate the one-on-one time that I spend with each person so that I can allow them to do their work independently. If you want to learn more about how I teach different grades at the same time, I've made a full video about it and you can watch it on this channel. It will help you to understand step by step how I'm able to teach 4 kids at the same time. So the number 6 challenge is that feeling that you're not doing enough for your kids. That terrible feeling at the back of your mind that is telling you that you're not doing a good job teaching your kids, or maybe you don't know what you're doing as a teacher. Your kids are not learning enough. Maybe it's telling you that you need to buy more materials, you need to try new curriculums. All these negative thoughts that come into your mind, into my mind. The way that I overcome those thoughts is to remind myself that kids learn in layers, and there is no way, it is impossible for me to teach my kids everything they need to learn all at once. I try my best to be consistent, because the more consistent I am, the more they are better at learning. And honestly, I believe that as long as your child is learning, and growing and improving academically, then it shows that you are doing a great job as their teacher and that they are learning what they need to learn. So you've heard the 6 challenges that I face while homeschooling 4 children, which are mom time versus teacher time, expensive curriculums, not knowing how to teach certain subjects, distractions during school hours, teaching multiple grades, and that feeling that you're not doing enough. If you have experienced any of these challenges, I want you to comment in this comment section below, and I want you to know that you're not the only one who's facing those challenges. And if you try some of my ways of overcoming those challenges, I bet it will help you to overcome your own challenges as well. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I encourage you to watch my other video where I share the exact materials that I use to teach my kids how to read by age 2. Thank you so much. Like, share, and comment on this video. I will see you next time. And remember, we're not just homeschooling, but we are raising warriors for Christ. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.